So is VET bearish or is it bullish? That's the question I'm going to answer in today's video. I'm also going to show you a fractal that could play out here over the next few weeks. So I'll show you exactly what that could mean for VET in this video. And if you love the content, guys, please be sure to subscribe below, like the video, and leave a comment. I do try to make it a point to respond to every single comment. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the daily time frame for VET. And as you can see here, if I zoom out, you can see that we have an ascending channel that has basically outlined the entire bull market for VET. And I wanted to start with this because it really helps to give you structure to the entire chart to see kind of where VET has been over the last 18 months or so. All right, now what I want to point out here is there's a lot of fear out there at the moment. There's a lot of people saying that the bull market's over. And while that's always a possibility, what I have to look at is the overall market structure. And so far, as you can see, VET is clearly in an uptrend. Okay, so no worries there. Furthermore, at the moment, VET is trading right around that 12.7 cent level. Now, if we look at the bottom of this channel, okay, this long-standing channel, this level comes in right around 12 cents. So VET is still above even this level. It hasn't dropped even to retest that level yet. So any talk of the bull market being over really is very premature in my opinion, okay, at least for VET. So now what I want to show you is this confluence of support that is built up here over the last few months. So there's a trend line that extends off of the all-time high up here. This level comes in quite a bit lower, right around 11 cents. So 11 cents all the way up to 12 cents. This region down here is going to be key for VET. This is the must-hold area for VET, but as long as it's above it, guys, we are bullish, we're fine, nothing to worry about, okay? You obviously don't want to see VET closing down here because that could introduce some problems for this chart. Now, another area is going to be around 12.3 cents. This is the horizontal level that I've talked about in the past, and it's, obviously a lot less significant than these two other levels here. Okay, now lastly, before I talk about the VPVR, and I'll explain that in a moment, before I talk about that, I do want to point out that there's also a short-term trend line here off of the July low that could become a factor. And again, that level comes in right around 11 cents. So there are four key levels between 11 and 12 cents for VET that do point to this being an incredibly strong support area for the market. Now, one other thing I do want to point out is something called the VPVR. And in case you're not familiar with this, what it shows you is how much volume was traded at a certain price for a market. Okay, so what I want to look at here for VET is basically over the last few months, we've seen VET trade in these areas a lot. And the VPVR shows you that. Okay, so look at this spike right down here. So right around 11 and 12 cents, you can see that over the last few months, VET has spent the most time right around the 11 cent mark. And to me, given those levels I just showed you, that is incredibly significant because it does point to the fact that this area is incredibly strong for support. Okay, so the bottom line here is that VET could drop quite a bit lower than where it is today and still be very bullish. Now, one last thing I want to point out is the fractal that I promised you at the beginning of this video. All right, so the first thing I want to tell you right up front is that a fractal is not a guarantee. It doesn't mean that the market is going to do this. It also means that eventually the market is going to deviate from that fractal. However, if you'll notice, the price action back here is very similar to what's happening right now. So the last time VET tested the bottom of this channel was back here. Now, what's similar about this to the last few weeks? And obviously, it is very, very similar. We had a retest of channel support initially, and we then got the move up and a very aggressive pullback back here. Now we're seeing something very similar this time. We're seeing the move up and a very aggressive pullback to support. Now to help you visualize this a little better, if I use the bars pattern here just to kind of plot this out and show you what that would look like over top of the current price action, and again, fractals are not perfect. They're never going to be perfect. But if you'll notice, this movement here over the last few weeks is very, very similar to what we had back here earlier, actually late last year. Okay, so this does not mean it's going to happen, but it is something I'm keeping an eye on. And what's interesting about this is if you line up this fractal, okay, this low right back here All right, the first test of this channel support, the low down here comes in basically right at 11 cents, maybe just below it. Now that doesn't mean we're going to see something exactly similar. For all we know, the bottom could be in now. All right, it doesn't mean we're absolutely going to get a move down here, but it does say that even if we did get a move, and this is what I said before, if we get a move down to 11 cents, the chart is still constructive here. We could see a move all the way down here, okay, flush out a lot of liquidity, and then move right back up and take off higher. Okay, so again, this does not mean that it's going to play out. And I'm sure that some of you are wondering, where does this fractal point over the next few months? And if VET were to repeat what it did back here, the last time it tested this channel support, then it would put VET up around, just above $2 in March of next year. Now, again, is that going to happen? I don't know. Nobody does. It could happen, right? It absolutely could. This is crypto. But at the same time, it's not a guarantee. And eventually the market is going to deviate from this fractal. But if we do see a sharp bounce from that 11 to 12 cent area, that would tell us that the market is so far following this fractal, the same exact price action that we saw back here. Okay, so just something to pay attention to. But the bottom line, guys, is 11 to 12 cents. That's the area to watch. That is still very bullish above that region. And if you enjoyed this video, again, please subscribe to the channel below, like the video, and leave your comment below. I'll talk to you guys soon.